if you get ready, you ain't. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. That's the phrase. Stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Ba-dum. All right, so impromptu live. So I don't expect a lot of people to be on this live. I think more people anticipated me to go live the other day because I filmed in the morning and then in the afternoon. Well, I filmed in the morning and I told them I'm going to go live in the afternoon and I did. So that was why more people were on my live stream that night because I had told them ahead of time, I'm going to live stream. Whereas this time, I'm not even going to put it on Twitter. I'm just gonna start talking and then people can catch up with it later if they do because I saved my lives on my channel, so it's no big deal. But hey, looks like there are some people here, so I guess I better start talking now. So this is an impromptu live stream that I am doing. Hello. Because gosh, every single day is a new adventure. It's a whole new world every single morning. Hi, Anthony. I'm doing well. We're going to have a blizzard here in a couple of hours. So they sent everybody home, which is the reason why I'm at home at this time of the day. Normally I'm at work. So yeah, blizzards can be fun for socializing, terrible for getting actual work done. But I digress. So I'm on here because after my last live, all manner of new things have been happening in the whole Sungri situation slash Jung Junyoung situation slash now Choi Jung Hoon. Choi Jung Hoon, I think that's how you pronounce his name, from FT Island. And first of all, we're just going to call him JJY because I can't be bothered to try to pronounce his name correctly. He doesn't deserve that much attention and effort from me. He came back to Korea from France. He is withdrawing from all of his activities. His company has terminated his contract. Sungri's contract was terminated by YG. But he has issued a statement basically admitting his wrongdoings. It was an okay statement, but it was lacking in several areas as a public figure. Bitch, as a man, you ought to be better than what you were. And then also, he said he was going to withdraw from all of his activities and suspend his entertainment career. Suspend means he plans to come back to this bitch one day if he can find a way to get back in here. And if y'all let him back in the entertainment industry, y'all are a bunch of dumb motherfuckers. Don't do it. Sungri, things have been pretty quiet for Sungri because so many people have been focused on JJY's situation. And now it's come out in one of the group chats that a member of FT Island had a drunk driving incident that he did not report to the media. Apparently, he didn't report it to his agency, but it was said in the group chat that a police officer was paid to sweep this under the rug while he had his license suspended for 100 days and he had a fine that he paid. So here it is that as the days go on and the group chat, we're just going to call this the group chat scandal. I think that's what it should be called. Instead of calling it the Sungri scandal or the JJY scandal, let's call it what it is, the group chat scandal. Because this is all about them Kakao Talk messages, that evidence that how many movies have y'all watched where it says to criminals, don't ever put no shit in writing? Yeah, so this is the group chat scandal. Anyway, as more and more things come out with the group chat, you have seen a wave of different celebrities talking about keep my name out your mouth. Don't even try to implicate me. I'm suing anyone I can because you're not going to put me in this bullshit. And then like for about 30 minutes last night, I guess to deflect attention away from the scandals that we all are eating our popcorn about, they put out the rumor that Dio is not re-signing his contract with SM. I'm gonna put it this way. I'm not entirely sure that's a scam. SM put out a statement immediately like that's not true. We'll respond to more later. If it's not true, what else is there to respond about? What more is there to say? So I'm not sure if Dio actually is going to resign with SM. They might be in a series of very tense negotiations, and someone from Dio's camp might have said, you know what, let's just put this news out there and see if that gets SM to, hurry up and give us what we want in these negotiations. Because people are saying that there's so many years left on EXO's contract, so they shouldn't have even been in negotiations right now. But I'm not sure what the dates are on their contract, but EXO debuted in 2017. It is now 2019, and most contracts are 7-year contracts. So if they have a 7-year contract, I'm not assuming to know because I don't follow EXO to that extent. if they have a 7-year contract, it's about time. So I wouldn't be surprised if they are in the midst of negotiation as upcoming renewals are abound. But I digress. Anyway, in the midst of all this gambling, somebody tried to throw that out as a diversion or whatever. But yeah, Choi Jong Hoon, let's just say CJH, because I can't be bothered trying to remember all of this stuff. He basically admitted that he had this drunk driving incident. His company, FNC, says that the reason why he didn't tell anybody is because he didn't think he was that big of a celebrity for people to be concerned about it. Bitch, please. Bitch, please.
What?
You know that the reason why you didn't say nothing to nobody is because you knew you were enough of a celebrity that this would have been people calling for you to get out your group if they knew it was you drunk driving. So don't tell these lies. And with this, do any of you remember? I want to say it was a couple of years ago when Seungri got in a car accident, and there was footage of him in a car accident where he basically like rolled down the freeway. And at the time of the accident, people said they thought he was drunk driving. And I think there was another report that said he was being followed by a Sasung fan. I can't pronounce that word correctly, sorry. And then the police say that he was speeding. And I want to say shortly after that, people said, oh, or somebody said there was a malfunction with the vehicle. And that's what caused the sudden acceleration and then the flip. Now that we know how things are, it makes you wonder if that really was what happened or if he really was sincerely drunk driving. You know, what was really going on at that incident? I mean, it makes you call everything into question at this point. How many other lies have people told that they didn't actually want us to know what was really going on? Like when Seungri said that he was not... I'm sorry, my daughter was waving at me, so I got distracted. No! Put my yearbook back. Leave my stuff. See, this is why I can't hardly do live streams at home. It makes you think back on the whole Japanese prostitution scandal. And, you know, at the time, like, it wasn't a prostitute, it was a girl I met at a club. But with all this stuff, maybe it is a prostitute. We don't know. But it is just every single day, every single hour. When you go to sleep and when you wake up, it's 15 new news articles. And it's hard to know what to believe. So in order for me to give you the best information, don't expect it to come from me all the time because I can't dedicate my life to this. Please go to the SBS website. SBS Asia has a website that's in Australia, and they have a specific site that I think it's like a K-pop site or a Asian entertainment site, and they have a timeline for all of the Seungri stuff, and they update it as every new thing comes out, so you can follow the timeline from the very first article down to the very last article, and it's updated regularly, and it's a great website for you to follow because SBS Fun E is the source that has been letting out all the news regarding the group chat scandal. Like the reporter who started this whole thing is a part of SBS. So SBS, their Australian news port, is an amazing source for you to look at. You don't have to worry about if you're getting a bad translation because it is the same corporation. So it is perfect for those of you who are wanting to get the source straight from the horse's mouth instead of going around to all these other websites who are sourcing their information from other websites. So it's a lot easier for people if you just kind of want a rundown of when things happen, how they happen, and what has been the latest development. Now let me get into the meat and potatoes of why I'm actually doing this live, because I've said a lot and it's all kind of been out of order and everything else, but there's two main things that I want to talk about. The first is, why are we out here trying to identify these victims so damn hard? I want to know about this because everyone and their grandmother who's a female celebrity has been out here talking about, don't you talk about me, don't you say my name, don't you put me in this, my lawyers are going to sue you. And it is because people continue to write articles saying, former girl group member is in here and young starlet is seen in one of the tapes, and the news outlets are itching to name these women. And it's almost like they don't even think about the fact, or maybe they do. Maybe this is a diversionary tactic. Maybe they threaten to name these women. That way, the men who are actually doing the wrongdoing can then pay the women off to say, oh, no, that's not me, or that was consensual. So that's not hidden camera footage. It's actually a sex tape we made. Like, who knows what goes on behind the scenes? But why are we in such a rush to name these victims, yet and still we haven't given out hardly any of these group chat names? When will the names be out? Apparently, there's a police officer, obviously, who's a part of this group. We've got the Yuri Holdings people as a part of this group. Obviously, there's other celebrities that are a part of this group. Put these. It ain't a group chat if I don't get disconnected. Are we going back in the timeline and we're just gonna take every lie that every celebrity ever told and debunk it using this group chat? If that's the case, then just let us know who these people are, and we'll do that ourselves. Give us some names of some celebrities that were involved in this group chat, and we'll go back and we'll look at the scandals and we'll say, oh yeah, that was where the lie was. This is where the lie was. That was where the lie was. But just put their names out there. Why are we so insistent on trying to find out who got drugged and who got raped and who had their sex tape released without their permission? Who didn't know that they were making a sex tape? Why are we so anxious to find out who didn't do something wrong instead of trying to be anxious to find out who did do something wrong? You know, I don't understand that at all. And the way it sounded, it sounds like, okay, Just Kidding says, yes, sexism at its finest. They talk about every supposed girl group out there, but they won't give us the guys' names involved in the group chat. Exactly. You know, they have talked about so much of what is in the context of these group chats. They have talked about how when they would see rookies on music shows, that they would text each other if that girl group was at a friend's company and say, hey, can you invite her over to the club for drinks later on tonight? Like practically ordering women from takeout menus. Like, oh, I was watching Music Bank today, and at 5:35, there's a cute girl in the background. What's her name? Have her come over tonight. I'm interested in trying some of that. Or, oh, I was watching the show and I saw this girl from whatever entertainment company. She looks brand new. Won't you have her come over for pizza tonight? Like, we talked about this in the last video, but the way that these women are seen as commodities, it is beyond inhumane. And, you know, that in and of itself is enough of a reason why we need to expose the group chat members. Why are we waiting? The only thing I could think is that they're not exposing the group chat members because there's somebody in the group chat who is so high up that they're like, we need to make sure that everything is airtight against this person, because the minute we say their name, they're going to sue our pants off. And so we need to make it to where they can't sue us. All they can do is spend jail time. And it's got to be some like Son of Samsung, one of these kind of deals, like one of these big chaebols, because otherwise it makes no sense for them to tear off little strips of information this whole time and not actually give us these fucking names. So Diana Sam says, wasn't Zico in the group chat? I read something how he was in it but didn't say anything, but knowing and not knowing, saying anything and not saying anything makes him just as guilty unless I read the situation wrong. Jade says Zico made a statement saying that he wasn't a part of it. Anthony says we need more information about these group chats as well as who was involved in all this mess. I agree. You know, if Zico was a part of the group chat and he wasn't setting up all this bad stuff, but he was reading these messages, then bring his ass, because he's complicit. You know, if he didn't peace out the minute they started talking about nasty shit and like, I'm not going to be involved in that, then bring his ass. You know, at this point, I don't want nothing but justice. I don't want nobody to kill themselves. I don't want no victims' names released. I want them to be able to get the care that they need once everything comes out in the wash. But I don't want nothing but names. Don't give me fuck else except for names. I want names, and then we can start listing crimes, but give me names. You know, number one, because the people who are in this group chat need to be held accountable. But number two, we can stop all this Hi, this is the representative from Ruby Rose Entertainment, and I just want to make sure that you don't talk about my idol because they're not involved with this. I don't want to hear all that. I don't want to hear all these other voices in the room that don't have anything to do with the situation. I just want the people who are being nasty and breaking the law and being subhuman to be exposed for the leopard people that they are, and let us go ahead and kill them. Or, well, not kill them, but let's go ahead and put them under the jail. That's what I want to do. Let's go ahead and put them under the jail. More comments. Like, we have so many questions not enough answers, but people need to understand that this is deeper in K-pop. It is deeper than K-pop, and that's the reason why I said the only reason I can believe that they are not revealing all the names is because there are some people in this group chat that are so high up in either government or in finance or in industry or in Korean society that they feel like until everybody else who's in the periphery has been wrapped up in this, we have no evidence to get this person, because Korea is notorious for like the wealthiest families getting away with their crimes. Like, you remember the whole Korean Airlines thing where the heiress was like throwing peanuts at people and cussing folks out and made the plane turn around. She had the misfortune of doing that shit in the United States, which is the reason why she got caught. But had she done it in Korea, nobody would have never said nothing about it. And as it was, she got. Y'all know I have a Samsung phone, so when I talk too badly about Korean high-ups, I think they cut off my live streams. But yeah, there are people high up in this group chat that are probably members of huge conglomerates, members of wealthy families, high up families. We know at the very minimum there is a police officer that is involved because they took the bribe for the drunk driving case. So that's going to be in there. Like, there's all kinds of stuff that's going on here, which is the reason why we're not getting all the names. But I feel like we don't need to see no names of any victims until we get the names of the people who did these crimes, because Korea didn't have no sympathy for these women. You know, I was reading an article about this, and they were talking about how the actual laws for the spread of hidden camera footage are very murky in Korea. Apparently, it is against the law for you to film somebody without their knowledge and pass that information on to other people. But when the courts are determining fines and sentencing, they take into consideration, what was the woman wearing? Where did you meet the woman? How long have you known the woman? What is your previous relationship? What was your relationship after the filming took place? All this other ancillary stuff that basically puts the onus on the victim. So let's say that you're my boyfriend and we've been going together for a while, and I put on my sexiest clothes because we're fixed to get it in, and you're my man, so I don't think anything of it. You film us having sex, and we're still together for a couple more months, and then we break up. And because we're not together anymore, you feel fine sharing our sex tape with your homeboys because fuck that bitch, we're not together no more. The judge will look at our case and say, well, you had been giving him some this whole time, and you guys were still fucking around after this happened, and you was dressed to kill that night, so obviously you knew you wanted this, so we're going to fine him $5 and tell him to do 10 hours of community service. Have a nice day. What does any of how I dressed, our relation, what does any of that have to do with the fact that he filmed me without my knowledge? That he exposed me to several people without my permission? What does any of the scenario I just told you about have to do with him doing wrong? But the law is written there for that to be taken into consideration. So that's the reason why I don't want no victim names out. I do not release a single victim name unless that woman is willing to whistleblow. If she wants to have her name out there because she needs protection, she wants people to know, hey, if I turn up dead, this is the reason why, then put that person's name out there. That's the reason why the reporter who did this story probably felt the need to do an interview and put her name out there, because she's like, if I turn up missing, y'all know what it was and who it was. I've got some documents on a secret USB file somewhere hidden in the Sahara Desert. Y'all need to pull that shit if I ever disappear. That's probably the reason why she went live, because she needed people to understand, I'm only able to put my face out here to protect my family. No other reason. I'm going live with this because if I don't go live with this, I'll disappear. It says, this actual situation happened to a very famous K-pop singer in the 2000s. She was completely blacklisted and had to live in America for many years because the backlash was so severe in Korea. Is it Baek Ji-young? Is that who you're talking about, Diana? No backlash for the boyfriend. He even went on interviews. Because I know that Baek Ji-young, she had a sex tape from a former manager. He filmed them having sex without her permission. She left the management company, broke up with him, and then he exposed the tape as a vendetta against her. And it took her forever to get over that. But she finally was able to make a return, became the OST queen. Everybody seemed to love her again. And do you know what's going on with her now? She has been blacklisted again because the man that she married got involved in a drug scandal. So now people won't touch her. And it's just, you can't win. Even being adjacent to some of this shit, you can't win. You can't win. Park Han-byul, who is a actress in Korea, her husband is one of the CEOs of Yuri Holdings, which is this group that Sungri started. And apparently her husband, because of all this scandal, she has to withdraw from promotions for her dramas and can't pursue new projects. And I'm sure as hell she wasn't calling for no escorts. She probably wasn't even allowed to look at her husband's phone because he had all this shit going on. Like, it's unbelievable how, you know, in the midst of just trying to live our damn lives, here us women are just dragged under the bus. The fuck. The fuck. As women just can't win in Korea. Absolutely. As women, you can't win. You know, speaking of women who can't win, YG made a press release saying that they are going to pursue litigation against any malicious comments made about their female celebrities. And I had a hearty guffaw at that news because I remember when Minzy left 2NE1 and YG wanted to say all of the slanderous things about her. Oh, she didn't tell the members she was leaving. Oh, she had been uncooperative. Oh, she was this. Oh, she was that. And then finally, Minzy's dad was like, listen, you open your mouth one more time about my daughter, and I got some stuff I want to tell you about how you run your business. After that, YG shut the fuck up. So are you telling me that you're going to sue yourself? Is that what's happening? Are you going to turn around and be like, yes, YG has decided that we need to go into a period of reflection. We'll be handing over money and not communicating with anybody while we reflect on our actions. No, you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. Or, you know, how about when Park Bom was in hiding for years at YG's direction, I would say, because I think Park Bom was really confused in that period. There was a lot of things she was saying that didn't really make a lot of sense. But when Park Bom was being shit on over and over again during her medicine scandal, I refuse to say drug scandal for her, medicine scandal. Y'all didn't have nothing to say about these malicious comments then? Y'all weren't going to try to sue nobody? You weren't going to try to clear the air? Nothing like that? You know, miss me. Or, you know, hell, how about you going on television talking about 2NE1 is ugly? How about you doing that? These malicious comments you have to say about females, and you have the nerve to open your mouth, talk about we're going to start prosecuting people for saying malicious stuff about our female celebrities. Hell, Mix 9, how many female celebrities on Mix 9 did you have horrible shit to say about? Actual malicious comments, like the definition of malicious comments. And you want to talk about, you can't say anything about the women at our company? Get the fuck out of here. Get the whole fuck out of here. You kidding me? So I've got a couple of messages here. Diana says, I wonder how Gina's doing. I don't know how Gina's doing. Gina, I believe that she's an American citizen, so my hope is that she came back to America and she's making a life for herself, because it's a wash for her in Korea, but she's a very talented woman. So, you know, hopefully she's giving singing lessons, or maybe she's pursuing further education. But, you know, hopefully she's back here in the States and trying to carve a new life for herself in an area where there's not as much stigma for her. Just Kidding says, LOL, sure, Jan. Too little, too late, YG. That's infuriating. The singer Ivy had nudes leaked, right? I could be wrong. I do not remember if Ivy had nudes, because the only thing I can remember about Ivy is the dance song, which is a great song, by the way. Very underrated. Most people don't remember it. I heard YG won't let Dara perform Spring with Bomb live. I think it probably was at YG's direction that Dara could not perform the song with Park Bom, which, I get it. I guess he doesn't want to seem like he endorses Park Bom too much, but, I think that the numbers and the sales show that the support is returning for Bom. So at this point, you just seem petty as fuck. Um, and then agreed, it was a medicine scandal, not drugs, totally different than cocaine or something else. Yes. Kush being arrested for trying to buy cocaine, that's a drug scandal. Getting your Adderall or ADD medicine or anxiety medication, no, that's not a drug scandal. I think it's trendy for these companies to seek legal action for malicious comments now to please the fans. I don't think they actually care. I do think that some companies care. I think where companies care about malicious comments is when it looks like the malicious commentary is going to cause stock prices to drop, or if they think that by cutting out people from the beginning, it'll discourage them from spreading around rumors that can cause difficulties for the company. But I don't think that just as somebody says, oh, such and such female idol looks fat, I don't think that those are the people that are going to be prosecuted. But if you say, I was at the club and I saw such and such singer X getting drunk and, grabbing people's butts, that is when you're looking at a lawsuit. And that's what these company statements are about. It has nothing to do with you're being mean to my idol on a live stream. When people are on these live streams cussing out these girl group members, the companies don't go after those folks for harassment, even though they very well could and should. What they mean is don't do anything that's going to cause our investors to think that there's a problem around here. Late Bloomer says, I hated Mix Nine. I couldn't watch it. I wasn't gonna watch it, but I've seen some previews of it. Shit's disgusting. You're right, Diana. I totally believe that. I honestly think it's because they're going to get more backlash in this day and age because apparently there is a huge feminist movement in Korea. There is. The Me Too movement has really picked up in Korea, and so now is the time to start prosecuting these damn demons for the things that they're doing. But there's also been a lot of backlash against the Me Too movement. You guys know about the scandal with Sonny, who is a disgusting person, just like personality wise. I don't fuck with that dude. But he did the song Feminist, where he was talking about how he believes in women's equality, so they should be serving in the military, even though his ass isn't serving in the military because he's an American citizen. So who are you talking to, my dude? And all this other stuff, basically criticizing the Me Too movement and like, well, you should pay the same share on a date, and you should go in the military, and you should quit asking men to open doors for you, and this, that, and the other. And it's like, get the fuck out of here. That's not what this means. But there are a lot of people who are looking at the Me Too movement as a power shift. And because of that, they want to critique any and everyone who seems like they endorse Me Too. So, like, for instance, I believe it was Irene was reading a book that was considered a feminist book. And all of these male idols were like, I can't believe this bitch can read. How dare she? What does she think picking up a book? A book is a man's territory. Like, it was wild, the reaction to that. So even though there is a lot of steam being picked up for the Me Too movement, there is a ton of backlash about it. So, it's a mixed bag. It's a catch-22. And so this is great timing for exposing creeps. That way you can finally show people Me Too is not about, I just want you to quit treating me like a little girl. It's about, I want you to quit treating me like I'm for sale at the grocery store. That's what Me Too really is about. And I hope that this helps solidify that for the movement. Okay, missing some more things here. It says, YG spoke so dirty to those Luna members, saying that they're too old looking. I was pissed when he said that about Heejin, Hyunjin, and Hasul. That's because he was jealous because he didn't come up with Luna. This dude Kush was trapping through a P.O. box. Wow, a mailbox, Lord jeez. For real, a mailbox? Like, okay, for those of you who don't live in America, if you are found trafficking drugs through the mail, just pro tip, not only will you go to jail for drug offenses, but you'll go to jail for like mail fraud and all kinds of other like strict felonies, because fucking with the mail in America, that's big boy time. So just thought I'd let you know, FYI. Sonny is American. No wonder he uses English as much as he can. He wants to show off that title off, and it's annoying AF. Is that why YG is hiding CL? She's such a strong, independent woman. When it comes to YG and CL, the situation there, I feel like is more complicated than any of us could ever really grasp. And I don't think it's complicated because of just YG. I think it's complicated because of CL. You know, they said that a lot of the like sadder love songs and stuff off of the last 2NE1 album came from CL as she was dealing with her breakup with somebody. And I don't know. I just feel like sometimes CL hasn't been in the best place mentally. And I don't think that the team around her have been the most supportive in getting her to the best place mentally. And with all that being said, I think it's a matter of the team not really supporting her, CL herself being in a depressive state, and then her trying to navigate an environment that no one's really done before. You know, outside of BoA, I can't think of any other K-pop female stars that have tried to do this crossover thing. And she's trying to do it in a way that is totally new and totally different. And there was nobody that could give her proper guidance. And YG was trying to use the Seven route to get CL there. And you saw what happened with Seven in his American debut. So I just think that it's a matter of YG, instead of placing the blame on his team not being well equipped and then not being able to read the market in the best way, they've tried to put it back on CL. And CL has probably felt a lot of guilt and a lot of self loathing because she feels like she didn't make it. Instead of it being that, no, the team around you didn't know what the fuck they were doing. You know, because let's just be completely 100% honest about the situation. Scooter Braun has been lucky. He's not the world's most talented manager. He's been fucking lucky. He stepped into the gold mine that is Justin Bieber, and he stepped into the gold mine that is Ariana Grande, and he got on the backslide of the gold mine that was Psy. But outside of that, who is Scooter Braun taken from scratch and turning into a star? Ariana Grande already had shows on Nickelodeon when Scooter Braun was promoting her. You know, Scooter Braun came in with Justin Bieber already having millions of followers on YouTube. So what really does he know about pulling someone up from scratch and making them something amazing? You know, Psy was already breaking records on YouTube when he decided to be represented in America by Scooter Braun. So I think we need to be very clear about those things when it comes to that guy. But again, YG, because he's shallow and stupid and doesn't know no better, he's just like, oh, well, you know, we should be able to just toss money at the situation. It should all go for the gold. And that's not what happened. So I think that's the situation with that. Scooter said he isn't the one holding her back. Seems like shade towards YG. I don't know who to believe. I don't know who to believe either. Scooter can say that he's not the one holding her back, but you can hold her back by just not doing anything for her. You know, I don't have to hold you back in order to keep you from progressing. I just have to not show you where the road is. That is the issue. It's not that he's, you know, got her locked in the dungeon the way YG did. It's that, I haven't found any opportunities for you, and I don't really care about finding any opportunities for you, so you know what? It just is what it is. Your inventory. Which, you know, that's what I believe. Sia also had a lot of weight gain at one point. I don't want to assume things because it could be a thyroid problem, but I wouldn't be surprised if she reached some sort of breaking point. I can believe that. So I'm back. Okay, so I think that's the problem with CL is just that I think that she's got a lot of stuff that she carries on her shoulders. And I think the times when she's tried to alleviate herself of the guilt and she's come out every once in a while and been like, well, I had things prepared. I was ready to go. I'm not getting support. Then YG will do something to her behind the scenes and all of a sudden she's like, oh, there's no problems here. And so that's the reason why I feel like it's a lot of just people not really caring about her. I used to love this band Rixton, and they were under Scooter too. And now that you said it, the same thing happened to Rixton. It didn't seem like the Scooter team was doing anything to help them. And that's what it is. You know, a vehicle like a Justin Bieber runs himself. Whereas somebody like CL, she needs care. She needs craft. She needs an actual plan put in place for her. Scooter Braun's job with a Justin Bieber is, can I get him to show up? That's all I've got to do, and then I've done my job. Job well done. And that's the difference. She needs a manager. She needs Benny Medina. That's who CL needs. And for those of you who don't know who Benny Medina is, Benny Medina is the person who basically gave us Will Smith, the superstar. He also gave us J-Lo, the superstar. He was the person who managed Mariah after Glitter and gave us the Mariah of Emancipation of Mimi. He is that dude who looks at a celebrity and finds out what their niche is, what that one particular thing is about them that will make them shoot up into the stratosphere, and he books that shit for everything it's worth. And that's the kind of person that CL needs. CL doesn't need somebody who's got a superstar roster of people who kind of can run themselves. She needs a star maker. And that's what she doesn't have in Scooter Braun, because Scooter Braun is not a star maker. He is a star manager. And that's a very distinct thing. Okay, so Scooter managed Carly Rae Jepsen, and he never really elevated her from being a one-hit wonder, despite turning out stellar music. True that. Sia's career never took off here after his collab with Snoop Dogg. True that. Carly Rae Jepsen is also signed under Scooter Braun, and she deserves so much better. They disappeared for about 5 years, and now they're back under a new name, and I think the lead singer even threw shade at Scooter's team. Why wouldn't he? Saying something like, oh, I better not say anything, otherwise I'll get dropped again. I believe that. And, I believe that CL feels hopeless, because at the same time, she's probably thinking, I could leave YG, I could leave Scooter, but then who will take me? And it didn't help that Menzies' solo efforts kind of fell apart. I don't know who this company is that Menzie went to, but they don't really know how to do the things that Menzie needs done. They don't know how to manage someone like her. Their idea was, okay, she's got so much support behind her. She was never the scandalous one in 2NE1. All we got to do is let her do whatever she wants, whenever she wants, and it's going to work out. No, you have somebody who is used to being micromanaged down to their very essence, who started being a celebrity when she was a child. She's somebody who needs guidance. She needs structure. It would have been better for Menzie to sign on with even a Pledis. And I would never tell anybody to go to Pledis. But even a Pledis would be a great place for somebody like Menzie, where they have a structure in place. They have a machine behind them. And so she can easily transition from a, you've been stuck in the basement, to a, now here's what it looked like in the light, but you're still a part of the machine. That's what she needed, because the songs weren't written the best. She didn't have enough editing done to her videos, to her looks, to her packaging. She needs that hand that says, okay, what you got raw materials is good, but let me polish it and make it to where this is what the masses want to consume. And that's what Menzie needed. And this company that she's with, they just could not do that. They couldn't do it. So that's what the problem was. Okay, let's read some more comments. Scooter ruined The Wanted. I just wanted to say that. I had tickets to Menzie's show in LA, and then it was postponed. Oh my God, I remember The Wanted. Yeah, Menzie's show, there were rumors that there were going to be 2NE1 reunions, and then there weren't. And I mean, that whole situation, it's sad at best, it's tragic at worst. They can hear you singing. Okay. Hello, by the way. I'm finally live during one of your live streams. Yay! I'm so glad you've made it. But yeah, we've gotten into a tangent on YG and his poor management. So let's go back to the lecture at hand. Bomb's album is doing really well. Hopefully this can bring hope to CL and EHI. Well, if you guys remember, YG just 2 or 3 weeks ago said that EHI is going to get 2 comebacks this year. So I guess EHI drank the juice, and she's going to try to do this again. But if she is also on the same track in terms of having a 7-year contract, her contract should be almost up. And please, please, girl, get the hell out of there. Get the hell out of there. Epic High left YG, and Soul Light was an amazing album that was spearheaded by Epic High. Please go join them wherever the fuck they're at, whatever they want to do. Say, hey, are you looking for a signee? I want to be it. Also, I just want to give a quick bit of concern for Zion T. So the clips that have been going around on Twitter of YG saying not so nice things to the members of Luna, Zion T is sitting in the seat next to him, and he's kind of like laughing and giggling as well. And you guys know I love Zion T's music. Like, he is one of my legit faves. His album ZZZ from 2008 was my favorite male solo album because it is practically perfect. There's this one line on this one song, I don't know why you're asking me how many burgers I can eat. I'm already fat enough. Sorry, I just love that line. Anyway, Zion T, I have been following for years. Zion T is how I was introduced to Crush. It's through the two of them and their whole social connections that I got into Dean. Like Zion T is really, really important in terms of K R&B to me, and I'm very concerned about Zion T because I don't like him being associated with YG with all this shit coming out in the environment at YG. But at the same time, it makes me wonder if Zion T is like a trash ass person when it comes to his personal life as well. And if he is, that sucks because I'd hate to have to drop him, but I'll do it. But it just kind of, I'm concerned about it. I wish he'd find somewhere else to go. Get out of there ASAP. Especially because like if Zico's wrapped up in all this stuff, it's gonna spread. If Zion T is hooked up to YG and YG's a fucking creep, and then Sungri was at YG, and then Zico is a part of the group chat. If it turns out he's a part of the group chats, then that shit spreads to Crush, and that shit spreads to Dean, and it just goes on down the line until fuck, there's nowhere safe. We have no safe place. We have no safe place at all. Everything is jacked.
Where are the unproblematics?
Nowhere. And that is the title of this video. What do you expect? Because as I was thinking about everything and what I wanted to say regarding the situation, I was just thinking about the fact that, what do we really expect from these idols? Like, seriously, what do we really expect? And I say that because on the one hand, I know myself and several other people that I'm connected with, when it comes to talk about idols, we're always like, we hope they can get some rest. We hope they can get well taken care of. They do such a good job with their work, and it feels like the company doesn't support them, and we just want them to be happy and live their lives and be free. But then you have scandals like this. Like you have scandals of women being abused. You have scandals of, corruption and greed and drunk driving and drug charges and everything else. And then it's like we need to write them off. And when we're thinking about our idols, flat out, what do we really expect from these human beings? Like, seriously, what are our actual expectations of our idols? On the one hand, we expect them to be angels because we love them so much and the world is just so mean to them. But then on the other hand, we accept that they are demons when they get caught doing some of this nefarious shit. And so it's like, what do we actually expect from our idols? Do I expect my idols to smoke a little weed, maybe have a little sex, maybe get caught driving too fast in a 50-mile-per-hour zone? Yeah, I feel like I do. Do I expect them to be out here committing sex crimes and corruption and fraud and bribery? Hell the fucking no. Do I expect them to be celibate and to shun the advances of womankind and to never have a drink and to basically live their life cloistered? Absolutely not. But I feel like when it comes to our idols, we don't align our expectations for them with the same expectations we have for our brothers and our sisters and our coworkers and our friends and people that we meet on the street, because of the fact that it has the word idol. Idol is such a problematic term, and I wish there was another phrase for this. Star doesn't feel appropriate, because idol in my mind is so intrinsically linked with K-pop that I don't see another workaround term for it. But we really need to ask ourselves, as a community on the whole, what do we expect from idols? Do we expect, bye Nan, it was nice seeing you. Do we expect them to not get caught up in human life? Do we expect them to always 100% get it right? Are we going to allow them some leeway for making mistakes? Are there going to be some times where we're going to chalk it up to the game? Cut me off again. Are we going to chalk it up to the game and expect them to grow just like everybody else? Are we going to, at what point do we feel comfortable writing off people? At what point do we feel comfortable giving people redemption? At what point do we say, okay, maybe our stand-up needs to take a back seat to whatever the situation presents us? And I don't think that there's enough discussions about that. I think that we live in such a superlative driven world that people are so caught up in the stand bus and the standing machine and wanting to be able to say, oh, he's just so perfect and he snatches my wig and I can't breathe because look what they're giving me. And we're so caught up in that we don't think, okay, well, like let's reel it back in a little bit. What do we really expect from these people? What do we really sincerely expect from these people? Do you expect that every single time an idol walks the street, he has to say nice things to fans, or she, could be female idols as well, that they have to take pictures with fans, that they have to, at every opportunity, acknowledge and oblige to their celebrity? Do we believe that idols are people just like everybody else? At the same time, if we don't expect them to oblige to their celebrity at every turn, should we feel upset when idols are given special treatment because of that? You can't expect an idol to take pictures with every fan they meet in the street. Always be super polite. Never acknowledge when they're uncomfortable. Never acknowledge when somebody has gone too far. But then when we catch them getting special privileges at their university, like they don't have to go to class because they're on the music show, why are you mad at that? You've already acknowledged that when they're in the street, at all times they're a celebrity. So shouldn't they be treated like a celebrity at all times? Okay, we don't expect that. So if we don't expect that, then at the same time, then that means when they get caught up in stuff, then we can't turn around and be like, well, it's an idol. So we're going to be like, let's not judge too harshly because we do love this person. So that's why it is talking about our expectations. It is talking about our expectations in terms of, do we want them to always have their celebrity hat on? Do we want them to always have their human being hat on? What is our middle ground on this stuff? And I don't think that enough people talk about it. And the reason I say that is because, putting aside all the group chat scandal, the Yuchen scandal, the KHJ scandal, these are all times when these were examples of celebrities being bad human beings. But as fans, people came to their defense and said, but look at everything they gave to entertainment and to our lives. And if the court acquitted them, then there can't be anything wrong. Well, look at JJY in this group chat scandal. The court acquitted him because the police fabricated evidence, because the police covered up things, because people were told to lie about situations. So what the fuck does an acquittal mean? Seriously. So if Yuchen was acquitted of the crime of sexual assault with a sex worker, was he acquitted because he actually didn't do the thing that he was accused of? Or was he acquitted because she was a sex worker? And because the police have a predisposed opinion about those type of people. And because he's a celebrity and he has celebrity connections. And also he was engaged to an extremely wealthy heiress. Like, what is it that we're talking about here? Because all of these things are happening at the same time. And on a much more humane and understanding note, how do you divorce yourself from that love? K-pop is an industry, is made to be a dream factory. When I first got into K-pop, it was literally my escape. And because it was my escape, I wanted nothing but the best for idols. I believed idols were so good. It was to the point that I almost believed that Korea was a magic place because there were so many great things coming from it. And when I reached that point of starting to see the cracks and the ways that it was hollow from the inside, or the ways where things really weren't as good as they needed to be, then I had to ask myself, how far does my love go? And it has been a constant challenge. It has been a constant reappraisal of everything at every turn. Because as new situations come about, you have to ask yourself new questions. And so, for those of us out here who have had our faith in idols shook, we have to ask ourselves, where did that faith actually come from? Where did our beliefs about these people actually come from? Did they come from well curated television shows and curated live streams and curated tweets and curated Instagrams and curated music videos and curated music shows? Because all of it is manicured. None of you are getting the true, honest, and raw celebrity. None of us, unless you know them in life. And even then, you're probably not getting it all. So, with that being said, when your faith is shaken, you have to reevaluate, how did I come by this faith? And how do I stop myself from getting to the point where I'm willing to eat some truly ridiculous things in the name of loving this person? And it's something that you don't just have to do with celebrities. You got to do it with your life. How many of us have been in relationships with people, whether they be romantic partners or friendships or even family relationships, where your faith in this person is shaking because they've done something horrific or hurtful to you? And you have to think about, well, where did this faith come from? And what do I do with this faith now? What do I do with the other people that I've invested this kind of faith with? And I'm not saying you need to distrust everybody all the time. And I'm not saying you don't deserve to love anybody or that no one deserves your love. I'm just saying that instances like this is a time for reflection for you, just like it's a time for reflection for me. And for the hard questions to be asked, like, how much love do I really have? And what do I feel is the absolute line? And how much do I want for the good for my idols? And how much am I willing to say I'm not going to take in the name of these idols? And that is something that is a super hard question to answer, because everybody's fandom has a different level. And everybody's experiences are different. And everybody's feelings and emotions are different. And I bring all of this to the table because of Katie Boo 1979. Katie Boo 1979 is one of the first people that I really got into when it came to unboxings here on YouTube. It was Tina Davidson, Katie Boo 1979, and then it was M Girl Personal. And it used to be Zap for Seven Love, but I don't really watch her channel that much anymore. But when I started unboxing, these are the channels that I really paid a lot of attention to. And Katie Boo, over the years, we have struck up a casual acquaintanceship / friendship. And I really admire her as a person for who she is. Not because she has a huge collection, not because she is similar minded when it comes to collecting, but just her personality, the things that she said on videos over the years. I've come to really like her. And she did a video that she posted yesterday that she deleted from her channel. And in the video, she talks about how the situation with Seungri has extremely disappointed her. But she didn't directly address the scandal. She didn't directly address the victim. She didn't directly indict Seungri in the video, but she didn't defend him. She mainly did the video to talk about her feelings being a VIP and how she's all over the place and how this has really hurt her and how she doesn't know what to do and she's in a bad place emotionally. And the hate poured in. It poured in. And I left a comment defending her because, again, like I said, this is somebody I followed for a long time. It's somebody that I have a casual friendship with, and I defend my friends. But I also understand that there will be a time, hopefully it doesn't come, but there will be a time where if her defenses of Seungri went too far, I wouldn't be able to defend my friend. And if I have a line for her, What is her line? Because I have friendships with people who still love people who I find abhorrent. I have friendships with people who still love Yuchen. I have friendships with people who still love KHJ from SS501. And when you have these friendships with these people and they still love a person who's done something that you find personally repugnant, what do you do? What do you do? And so these are all the questions, and I don't have answers. I do not have answers. All I can bring is the questions, because these are answers for you to ask yourself and for everybody to have their own answer for. But what do you do when somebody that you trust feels a way that's totally opposite to your moral compass? What do you do when someone that you care about has hurt you, but you still love them? What do you do? And how many of us have made these same mistakes in our personal life? And what did we really expect from these idols? What did we really expect? And were our expectations even anywhere in the realm of reality? Or was it just us being stans and being fans and being caught up in the hype machine that is K-pop? So there's a few comments I missed. I'm going to go back up here to Oksun. Okay, it's pretty concerning, especially with a lot of male idols sitting by while women get mistreated in front of them. I feel like Oksun and Brian Chase should leave Black Label. I agree. We tend to all have an innocent view on our idols to an extent. I read that one. I agree with 100%. Idols are humans too, and we need to accept they aren't perfect. I expect them to not be criminals, and I expect that from everyone. I don't expect everyone to not be criminals. I'm just going to say that to you, Felicia. And I say that because I think that when you say criminals, that is a broad term. Because, I do criminal shit all the time. I cannot tell you how many times I've jaywalked, how many times I have, gone through red lights because that shit was yellow, and then when I got through the intersection, it was red. So when you say criminals, what do you mean? Do you mean, do I not expect them to be kingpins and violate human rights? Absolutely. But, Top smoking a little marijuana, that wouldn't keep me from being a fan of Top. So I can't say that being a criminal is going to keep me from one. I think people expect too much from idols. Oh my gosh, people expect idols not to be stressed out. Okay, you expect idols not to be stressed out, but how many people who are watching this live stream have a job? How many of you are stressed out at your damn job because somebody came into the store talking crazy, or somebody got on the phone to you talking crazy, or you got a deadline coming up and you can't hardly make it because there's so many things still left to do? Stress is a part of life, period. So what do you mean by you don't expect them to be stressed out? I don't expect them to work when they're sick, because I don't want to work when I'm sick. I don't expect them to be told to endanger their future health for today's benefit. But in terms of just being stressed out, stress is a part of life as an adult. Okay. I agree with you 100%. An idol or even human beings can also change over time. You never truly know someone or how they are feeling. You can be in any kind of career. You can also be a monster hidden. And that's a fact. If we really want to get into it, I don't want to be one of the ones talking about, oh, what about the Catholic Church? But, kind of, yeah. How many of us have faith in religious leaders and they let us down? As a practicing Lutheran, I can't really say that there's anybody in Lutheran church that's really stood out in my opinion, but I grew up Southern Baptist, and Southern Baptist pastors are known for sleeping with the congregation and having a bunch of raw shit happening in the church. So, my faith in religious institutions was kind of shaken way back in the day, but there's a lot of folks that will go down for the leader of their individual church because they have that much faith in them. Okay, and it's a monster. I think because what we have faith in is based on our viewpoint and how we see them. So when your view or your morals are shaken, it's very hard hitting, so you don't know how to react. I agree 100%. We're given a viewpoint, and that's what we base our judgment on, and that's what we base our opinion on. And so you call into question even what did I actually see? Like, did I really see this person as a good person because they are a good person? Or is it because they're cute? Or is it because they're funny on Variety? So I agree with that completely. You and Katie Boo are the ones that got me into collecting. Oh, thank you. I saw the comment section on that video. It was wild. So many people didn't watch the video. You can tell they only watched the first 30 seconds and made their judgments. I agree. And it's a thing. There are people going around looking for videos about the group chat scandal just so they can shit on the people in the videos. Like, it's a fact. People who have never been subscribed to my channel, don't know me, never talked to me, never anything to do with me. They are YouTube searching Seungri and looking for people's videos to go on and be like, you delusional fan, you're so stupid, he's a criminal, how could you ever? I have people on my videos not listening to what I'm talking about, downvoting because, oh, you seem sympathetic. Fuck you! You don't know me and you're not listening. How in the hell did you get through an hour-long video and not see that I'm saying these crimes need to be prosecuted? Fuck out of here with that bullshit. If I say I pray for Seungri, it's not because I want him to beat the case. It's because I want him not to kill himself. Because it doesn't help a victim for him to kill himself. He needs to be alive so that he can go to trial and then they can go back and sue him for compensation for their losses. That's what has to happen. So don't come at me with this, oh, you're an apologist, you're this, you're that, the other. Fuck you. And don't say that, oh, I'm going to unsubscribe from you now because you were never subscribed to me. Get the hell out of here. I think these questions are the beginning of our reflection. No, I mean fans expect idols not to be stressed out. My mistake. Okay. So, yeah. They didn't watch the hour-long video. Of course they didn't. Of course they didn't watch an hour-long video. They watched a little piece of it and then they wanted to talk. Case in point. The last live I did, it was the hour-long live where I tried to do a rundown of the situation. And a young lady by the name of Lola, I believe, but it was written in Korean, so I couldn't read her name at the time. She got on there like, well, the text messages were true. I was in the midst of talking about the timeline, and I was going to come back and say the text messages were true. They were sent to the anti-corruption. I was about to say that. I couldn't even say it because they were jumping on a chance to be like, you're an apologist, you're this, you're that, you support somebody. The fuck out of here. The fuck out of here. I'm sorry if I read at least 30 articles about this, if not more. I'm sorry if I want to take a little time to explain the situation from the jump so people can see how far-reaching everything is. I'm sorry that I'll just launch into a bunch of fuck that guy and fuck that guy over there and, don't support them and these raggedy bitches who are supporting them. And you know what I find high-key ironic about all this? These same ones who jump on your video, who want to hear you say all the bad shit about Seungri, they stay in these comments talking about these raggedy bitches who support Seungri. What kind of feminist are they?
Louder for the people in the back.
How are you going to call somebody a raggedy bitch at the same time talking about they're not good feminists? What kind of feminist are you?
Say it.
How are you talking about these hoes caping for their oppas, don't know nothing about feminism, and you call them hoes? Come on. And that's what's happening relentlessly. The people who were downvoting Katie Boo's video are not subscribers. Those are people who were looking for somebody to bash. The fuck out of here with that. You're not helping shit. These are fans who are hurt. They're looking for support. They don't want a woman hurt. I haven't seen a single fan of Seungri, Big Bang, nobody say, fuck them bitches, it's their fault that my oppa's caught up in this bullshit. I haven't seen a single one. If you find one, show it to me. I haven't seen it. They've mainly been saying, I love these people. They have hurt me. And because I love them, I don't want to jump to conclusions because of that love. That's what they're saying. And it may not be what you want to hear, but hear what they're actually saying instead of being up here talking about you just a dizzy bitch and you want to sleep with Oppa and that's why you don't want to believe he did these things. No, girl. I'm a hurt person and I don't want to believe these things because it's going to hurt me more. And so I'm waiting to see so I can finally close the door on this so that when I make up my mind is made. Shouldn't nobody be capping for JJY? Nobody, because that dude has already said, I did this. So what are you capping for? Nothing. But it is so hard for people to go into a situation neutral, for people to really listen to what's being said. Instead, it's, are you going to say something that's in the viewpoint that I like? Because if you're not going to say something that's in the viewpoint I like, then I don't got time to listen to this. You know, straight up and down. And I'm going to say this because I don't know if she's going to come back and watch this, but, you know, my mouth is wild. I'll say anything I want to about folks. Aggie Brown. Aggie Brown, I'm just going to tell you this right now. If you watch this video, sometimes I need you to not comment on my videos because you are not a fan of Big Bang. You don't really like YG. You have hard feelings about it. I get it, girl. I got it, because I don't really like YG either. But to hop in my videos and be like, fuck you mean Sangre is trash, this, that, and the other, and you know, this, all this stuff. Don't, because you have been wildly wrong about a lot of things. And that's why I had to mute you on Twitter. I don't unfollow you because I still love you, girl. And I'm saying all this because I still love you. But I had to mute you on Twitter because sometimes some of the shit you say is wild and it's not researched and it's, you don't pay attention to it, and then you put it out there and you don't even apologize when you're wrong. And then you fall into the next thing that is wrong. I remember distinctly when the fake love, I think it was the fake love video came out, and somebody who was an XOL did a Twitter thread about how BTS was trying to steal the powers concept from EXO. And you had Twitter thing after Twitter thing about, I can't believe this and all this other stuff. And then it turned out that that was not even the truth. And I really had to let you know, it's not the truth. No one has ever said this. This has something to do with their other concept from way back in the day. And you're like, okay, whatever. But then the next bad thing comes out about BTS. And it's like, oh, look at them fucking up again. And, you know, it's just like, okay, I understand. Sometimes people are wildly biased. And if you're wildly biased about a subject, I totally understand. But don't come into my videos and leave me messages that show that you have no real understanding of being a human being. Because while you can sit there and try to condemn people for the feelings that they have, let that be lay. And how long is it going to take for you to be like, okay, he's dropped from life? And, you know, this might mean that me and Aggie aren't cool no more. And I'm sorry, because like I said, I love you, girl. And I do think that you have a lot of good thoughts and opinions about some stuff. And I think you're very intelligent, and I appreciate you on that level. But sometimes I just have to leave you alone because you just get so damn wild about things. And it hurts my spirit, and it's hard for me to maintain our friendship when that happens. So, 'tis what it is. So let me go back up here. Let's see. It costs nothing to actually listen to what people are saying. To the people in the back, listen, truth is being spoken. My feelings exactly. I love Big Bang. I am just hurt and confused at the moment. I need to process. Yeah, I'm so mad at JJY2. I can't believe people are supporting him while people are caping for him. People wanted me dead because I am conflicted about the whole thing. I don't support any of these crimes and believe that punishment is due. Been crying about it since it started. They are all my biases too. So much negativity. It's okay to disagree with people's personal opinions, but do not spread more hate in this already hateful world. And that's my thoughts, man. You know, when people are legit doing something wrong out here, call it what it is, prosecute them for what they did, make them pay. I absolutely believe that. And there's no, call it for what it is, you know, make them pay. There's no room in the world for us to be defending people who do wrong by society. There is no call for that. But why attack the fans? Because don't you think that maybe they were just as lied to as everybody else? They were lied to the most. A lot of the time. Because a lot of the time, these celebrities, when they get in trouble, they call out to their fans to support them, even when they know that they're wrong. Because they feel like if anybody else is going to believe me or defend me, it's going to be those individuals right there. So don't you think that maybe you could have just an ounce of empathy, if not sympathy, empathy for these people who are having their worldview shaken? You know, I have, like I said, I haven't seen a single person say that people shouldn't go to jail for the wrong that they've done. I've just been seeing people saying, I don't know what to believe. And damn it, as a person who wants to see people in jail, I don't know what to believe. Every fucking day, every couple of hours, something new comes out. By the time this live stream is over, something new will have come out. And with that being the case, I don't know what to believe. I do know that I want justice served, but I don't know what to believe. And if Big Bang was my oats, I definitely wouldn't know what to believe. See some more here. I'm in the same boat of being conflicted. I'm so glad that my BBFs are very understanding of the situation, since my bias, former, I guess now, was Sungri for 6+ years, so it still hurt. I want all the wrongdoers to pay for their crimes, but it still hurts since I supported Big Bang and Sungri since 2009. It hurts, but he needs to pay for the price of his actions. Empathy seems to be lost in this day and age, and it makes me even sadder for our world. I'm sad about it too, you know. I'm really sad about it. We're just so quick to jump to conclusions, and sometimes we are dead fucking wrong. Dead fucking wrong. There's, totally unrelated to K-pop, there's this one basketball player, I can't even remember his name now, but he said, fuck you and your wife, to a guy in the stands. And everyone jumped down his back like, you are classless, you are trash, how dare you cuss out the fans like that? They pay money to see you play, and you would say some shit like that to them. You are a monster. Now, this was a black basketball player speaking to a Hispanic fan. Turns out the fan had told him, get down on your knees like you're used to, which probably was why the basketball player said, fuck you and your wife, because they were harassing him. And then people go on the Twitter feed of this fan, because nowadays, once you're in the public, people can find you. People will find you. And he has got all these racist things on his Twitter and all this, you know, very ugly and biased, and just, he's a trash ass human being. So once you find that out, was the player really in the wrong to cuss him out? That's what these situations are like. You're presented one side, you go with one side, and you're presented with one, if you're a fan, you're presented with one side for a really long time. And then things come out, and then more things come out, and then it gets deeper. And then you're like, now I have to go back to square one and say, was I wrong in my initial positioning on this subject? And a lot of people won't do it. They won't do it. And you got to. It's sad, but we need to learn to not trust a single story. Every event has several perspectives. Absolutely. Like, at the minimum, there's his, hers, and the truth. There's at least 3 sides to every story. So we really do need to start looking at things a little bit more and not just jump. Because I'll be honest with you, even if Sungri gets prosecuted and gets found guilty in a court of law and does a little jail time, does a little community service, pays a few fines, that doesn't mean that he's going to be washed from power or privilege or anything else. And then where does your outrage go? What do you do with that? Because, again, there are a lot of men who come back from scandal and are able to keep going. Not as many women, but many men who are able to come back from scandal. So what's with all the vehemence against fans who, again, had nothing to do with this, when really all that hatred and all that anger and everything else needs to go with the one who caused the situation? That's why I don't know what I would do with my biases in something like what's been going on. I want to think I would be able to give them up and unstand and want them to pay for their crimes, but I don't know, to be honest with you. I get you. I played a trust exercise with myself yesterday on my way back home from work. And the trust exercise for me was, I was sitting in the car and I'm like, JJY was a big friend with Jonghyun, and Jonghyun has passed away, and I know that he would be disappointed in hearing that this was going on with his friend. But what if, when the group chat message members get revealed, Jonghyun was in the group chat? What would I do then? And I'm not saying this to involve Jonghyun in the situation. Don't take it like that, because as far as I'm concerned, Jonghyun was a saint. Like in my mind's eye, I love that man. I really love that man. So for me saying this was a trust exercise I was doing in my own head to figure out how I would feel. And I couldn't say that immediately I would shut it down. I would be beyond conflicted. I would be hurt. I would be directionless. I would be lost. I even thought about, like, if it was Minho. Because if it was Jonghyun has passed away. He can't answer for any crimes if he was involved in any. So it would be one of those things where, I would have to put a moratorium on all of this. Like, I probably wouldn't even be able to touch it. But Minho's my bias. I have so much Minho shit in my house. Like, I have posters, and I have stickers, and I have photo cards, and I have all this stuff. And if it was him, and somebody came on my channel talking about, when are you gonna burn your Minho photo books? When are you gonna burn your Minho photo cards? My initial reaction would be like, fuck you, I'm not doing that. And then people are like, oh, she is a criminal apologist because she won't disavow Minho immediately. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do it immediately, because I'm going to be in the midst of calling into question everything. I'm going to be in the midst of a deep hurt. I'm going to be going through the stages of grief at that point. Anger, sadness, disbelief, bargaining, all of that. I'm going to be doing all of that because this is somebody I love. And the fact that people don't have that kind of empathy astounds me. It absolutely astounds me that they can't find a single object in their life, person in their life, anything in their life. Hi, Tarian. They can't find anything in their life that they can point to and say, I can understand what you're feeling because this is how I would feel. But maybe not everybody does these kind of trust exercises with themselves. I do it all the time. I constantly am trying to ask myself, well, what would I do? Whenever a news article comes on, or if I hear about something on the radio, or I read about something, I constantly ask myself, what would I do? And I asked myself that. Like, I picked two people that it would be almost impossible for me to disavow. And I asked myself, what would I do? And I have to say, I have no idea. And that's why I have empathy for Katie Boo. And that's why I feel for these fans, because I know what you're going through, because I can imagine it. Let's go here. Agreed, Channel 5. I always relied on Big Bang Updates blog to keep up with news about Big Bang, and they recently announced they would be going on hiatus. I still don't know what to do about how wrong it is that KJH is out here. I don't want to see any of these involved right now let free. I understand. Sam, I had those same thoughts yesterday. I'm glad we're like-minded, but I know that you study psychology and psychiatry, so I can understand why you probably are taking it that way as well, which I would love to hear your views, because I know that you are a big Jun Young, or you were, I'm gonna say were, because I don't want to send no hate your way, but I know you were a big fan, so I'd like to know how you're processing all this right now. If you want to do a video about it, you can. If you want to just call me, do that, because I understand not wanting to invite hate to your channel. Tarian is at work. That's me and many VIPs right now. It's a horrible situation to be in. I wouldn't want anyone else to go through it. It sucks. Nan's back. Hey, Nan. It's really hard to be a K-pop fan. When our faves do wrong, we get so conflicted. I want to thank you very much for your truth of words. It's helping me cope. I'm just waiting for the final truth. Those stages are where I am, JJY, and everyone involved in it was my music to cope. Your feelings get so wrapped up in your faves, and then something bad comes out, and your feelings are thrown in every direction. When Dio was reported to leave SM, I cried. EXO isn't even my top 3. Girl, I got chills when I read that Dio was not going to re-sign with SM. I'm like, what? I mean, it really took me aback. And EXO's not my top 5 either, but Dio is my bias in EXO. I love his voice. His voice was the reason I even paid attention to EXO. When I heard his voice on What Is Love, I'm like, who is that? What is that? Can I get some of that? I need to hear that in my ear at all times. So yeah, if he didn't re-sign with SM, I'll be honest with you, it'd probably be the end of me really checking for EXO anymore, because his voice is the voice I look for in EXO. Like, the main voices I look for in EXO are Dio, Baekhyun, and Chen. Even though I don't really like Chen, but I respect the fact that his voice is outstanding and it really does add value to these songs. But no Dio, it would. You might as well just call it a day. Keep, EXO CBX and just call the rest of it a day. Seriously. I would probably be in denial for a really long time, where indeed I'll contact you over the weekend. Yes, please call me over the weekend. So, I just want to be there for you, Jazzy. That's all. I just want to be there for you. I was going to do the same thing as well, and I wouldn't know what to do either. Like, I have so many memories with my group, so it would take too much time to process and figure out. I love Baek's voice. It's so unique to me. I mean, there's a lot of really good voices in K-pop, but SM has a special talent for picking some of the best vocal talents for their groups. And in every SM group, you can point to a few voices that you're like, that person right there, why are they being wasted in the group? And so that's what I love about it. That's why I'm an SM stan for the most part. But yeah, this has been a very long chat. We're at an hour and 20, so probably an hour and a half I'll cut it off, but I just wanted to have these discussions because there's not enough of that. And I think it does a detriment to the community, because where do the fans go? The fans that are hurt, they have no safe place. They have no place that they can go to and be like, can I just talk to you about how bad I feel? If all you do is throw your hate at them and tell them that you're wrong for even thinking about this person in a positive manner, I don't want to equivocate. But it's almost like being gay. And hold off for a minute. If you have friends or family who are against being gay, and you're struggling with feelings, you're struggling with, coming to terms with accepting this part about yourself, but you don't have anyone you can turn to who would at least be willing to have the conversation with you, what do you do? How do you process your thoughts and feelings? I'm not saying these situations are identical. I'm not saying that, so don't come at me behind that. I'm just saying, if I have to put it in a totally different metaphor, imagine being something that everyone around you is against and just looking for someone to talk to sort through your feelings with. We're not providing any place for those people to talk. We're not providing any place for those people to be able to go through their feelings. And so many of them are prepared to let it all go, but they're having to let go of a lot. Like, they're about to make a huge change in their life. And instead of trying to support them through that change, we want to bash them for ever being there in the first place. And I don't think that's right. I think that's wrong. So, that's kind of where I'm at here. And I hope that this live stream helps some people. I hope that these are things that are helpful for you. That's all I want. I'm past the point of being an unboxing channel for the most part. I still order CDs and stuff all the time. I got shit I need to show you that I haven't yet. But I'm kind of past the point of that, because that's what, Katie's for. That's what so many other channels are for. That's not me at this point. But I'm going to leave this chat up. But this here is me addressing the things that I think some of the more popular YouTubers can't address, because they don't want to affect their popularity, or they don't want to affect their subscription numbers. These videos right here are for the ones who are looking for a place to leave comments about these subjects, where they know that I'm willing to look at most sides of the situation. I say most sides because there are some sides that I'm not looking at. And these chats right here are a place for you to feel like I am heard. That's what it is. It's sometimes we get out here and we don't feel like we're heard because if you leave a comment in somebody else's video, all of a sudden you're struck down. And so this is what this is now. This isn't about me showing you the latest and greatest releases. I'll still show CDs every once in a while. I haven't totally given up the game, but this isn't about me being the first person to unbox something or showing off my collection and look at all the things I have. This is really about addressing every aspect of being involved in K-pop as a spectator because it's a lot. And once you get past your first bias group, and once you get past your first fandom, and you get to your first tragedy, where do you go from here? And that's what I'm trying to be for you guys, if I can. So, thank you for being with me. Thank you for allowing me to have a place to share my thoughts and for allowing me to be here for you. Um, it's a lot. It is a lot. It is a lot, and it's something that we'll be hearing about and be going through for quite a while. So this is not the be all and end all. This isn't the last conversation we'll have about this. And as more and more things come up all the time, we'll probably be having more discussions about more people. But just know I'm here. I'm here, and I'm here for you guys. I really, really am, truly and sincerely. And you know, for those of you who know me, like really know me, like Jazzy, Tarian, Jade, if you need to call me, call me. Cause I really truly am here for you. If you need to DM me on Twitter, I'm Shawwal_360. There is another Shawwal360, but I think her page is inactive. But DM me if you need to. I'm here for you. Cause y'all have been here for me. It's the least I can do to repay the favor. So thank you so much, you guys, and I will holler at you later. Like literally holler at you later because I feel like I spent half this video hollering. So thank you so much, and stay safe out in these streets. If you need to turn off your social medias for a minute, do so. Protect yourself. Don't let these people bring you down. Don't let them drag you into dark places. They don't care about you, and so